Welcome everyone to session 3 of the Energy Web series with your host neo-lawyer Ardian and Gator Green, which is me. Today's episode we dive into the Rocky Mountain Institute, which is one of the co-founders of Energy Web. I believe we don't have to do a full introduction to them in this session for everyone attending, but since we also record these sessions, I do propose to give a short introduction. So in this session, we want to discuss Rocky Mountain Institute as a founder and their impact on Energy Web and Energy Web use cases. As you guys know, lately there's been a lot of talk about Rocky Mountain Institute within the community and the famous donator card origins from that. And we will discuss in this session what is actually going on, what we know for a fact, and what is speculative. This goes for both use cases as well as for the token sales that we've seen on chain. So we have a part on chain data in this session that was delivered to us by Yun, who created energywebchain.io. EW chain that's how it's written. Most people here probably know it. But before we dive in, I wanted to know if anyone figured out the riddle that we created this time. Because this time we actually had two riddles or two things to figure out in our announcement. One of them was in the picture and one of them was in the announcement text. Did anyone find it? If you did, you can say it in the chat. I'll wait for a second to see if anyone responds to it. If not, then Ardian can explain a little bit because he created today's episode picture again.
Which I didn't know. I didn't know the answer, by the way.
For real?
Yeah.
Which one? Both or
Which one? I don't know. I don't know anything about that actually. What riddle we have tonight?
I guess
What's
you're not
the riddle?
Well, maybe since nobody seemed to have found it, I didn't see any answer in the chat so far. Maybe you can explain, Ardian, what you did in today's session and what was in the text.
Yeah. So the first riddle and the most obvious one, I thought everyone would know him. The guy in the picture was the founder of Rocky Mountain Institute, Amory Lovins. And the second riddle was you wrote who comes first or what comes first, I guess. I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ardian also not know the riddle.
But okay, I will just stop then. I don't know.
Should I explain that one then? Or?
No. So because that way no one will believe me when I say no, I knew it.
Okay, you go ahead then.
Yeah, the second riddle was the emissions first partnerships. It was a tweet tweeted from Daniel, and that was quite amazing if you searched on it.
Indeed, we will talk a little bit about that later because I do think it's a very interesting topic. There's really large partners there. So if we do connect to that, and that is something to figure out during this session, then I believe that this is once more a big use case provided by Rocky Mountain Institute. So I'd be very glad to see that, to be honest. What I think we will do now is we discussed the riddle, so we can actually start diving in. And I will share my screen and go into a little bit more detail about what Rocky Mountain Institute is. I will skip through that quite fast because I do believe also the ones listening in via the podcast possibly know Rocky Mountain Institute.
Gator, can I ask you something?
Yes, of course.
Are they evil like web or just a sportive foundation?
I'll just say there was a question we asked: is it a blessing or a curse? So I think you will learn that later.
I think so too. I personally believe it's a blessing, but that is already moving forward on the conclusion. And maybe you guys feel different. So let's have a discussion about that a bit later in this session. I do believe, you guys can see my screen presently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, nice. So I do believe Rocky Mountain Institute has done a lot. And like I mentioned earlier in a thread last year in February, This threat linked Rocky Mountain Institute to the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, the UN, MIT, and the World Economic Forum, and the US government. So if you do feel like the World Economic Forum is a bad thing, then you're definitely not going to like Rocky Mountain Institute and the connections to the Security and Exchange Commission or to the White House, right? I mean, how much more government connections can you have?
They will like the Rockefeller guys.
Yes, exactly. But if you want to play the crypto space good and you want to anticipate on regulation coming up, well, then this is your play, in my opinion. This is where to go. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, I mean, it is. There's so many big connections here. We all know it. I mean, that's why we're here. So in 2017, just a little bit background, I'll do it in one sentence to not bore you guys with it. Rocky Mountain Institute and Grid Singularity launched the Global Blockchain Initiative for Energy. That was back in May 2017, the official announcement by Rocky Mountain Institute. And for the ones who don't know it, the companies that founded Energy Web consisted of Centrica, Elia Group, Engie, Royal Dutch Shell, Sempra Energy, SP Group, Statoil ASA, Steden, TWL, Technical Works Ludwigshafen AG, Tokyo Electric Power Corporation, TEPCO in short. And these guys, they all founded the Energy Web Foundation. And Grid Singularity and Rocky Mountain Institute have played a core role in that. And nowadays, if you look at what has been achieved since 2017, we're now a bit more than 5 years later, 5.5 years later. You can see that, for example, Elia Group has created a lot of different work built on Energy Web blockchain technology. You see Engie use cases coming up. You see that Dutch Shell use cases. Shell has several use cases, amongst which Aviation for sustainable aviation fuel, which is also in line with what Rocky Mountain Institute is doing. So there's a lot of things being built presently. That's what I wanted to say with that. And well, we all know that, but in I think last week it was, right, Ardian, that you created, yeah, that was the 23rd, so not even a week ago, you created this thread about Rocky Mountain Institute. And I believe it would be good if we go a little bit into what we know for sure that is being built on Energy Web by Rocky Mountain Institute and what is speculative. And maybe we can do it in that order as well. What do you guys think? Is that a good idea to do it like that?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can do like that.
All right. So maybe I can start again, or maybe is there any questions so far? Anyone wants to say something regarding this topic already? Or
Yeah, about RMI. Anyone wonders anything about RMI?
if someone wants to speak, please say so in the chat. We can unmute you and you can speak. You have to unmute yourself then as well. Okay, so basically, last year in February, I already wrote a thread about the connection, like I mentioned, between Rocky Mountain Institute, Security and Exchange Commission, United Nations, Massachusetts, I hate that word, MIT, Institute of Technology, World Economic Forum, and the US government, the White House, and the EU, and COP26. So all these things, I tied them together, and these were actually proven. I mean, last year in February, I found out that Horizon Zero, which is a greenhouse gas emissions accounting system, is being built on Energy Web chain. That was public information, also found on the Rocky Mountain Institute website. And what was new, though, was this COMET initiative that was started at Davos at the World Economic Forum event, actually, in 2020. And we found vacancies from Rocky Mountain Institute. And in these vacancies, the description pointed to blockchain technology being used in Horizon Zero and linking that blockchain technology that is being used in Horizon Zero to COMET, the initiative that was started in 2020. And COMET stands for the Coalition on Materials Emissions Transparency. So this does not only go into greenhouse gas accounting in general, but it goes into industry greenhouse gas emission accounting for materials. So for the steel industry, for the
textile and everything, yeah.
All kinds of metals, actually. So, it's all about materials tracking as well. and that is something that is huge in my opinion. And we'll move to that emissions tracking of different resources quite soon. I mean, the work has already started on the steel industry. We do it with green hydrogen now with Energy Web. We do it with sustainable aviation fuels, and not only with the Rocky Mountain Institute, but also with Shell, as I mentioned. So this is huge. We found contacts to the White House there. We found advice and consultancy. The whole framework for all of this has been set up by the Rocky Mountain Institute. Yeah, and I think that is also a nice bridge because talking about frameworks, we all know the Crypto Climate Accord, right? Maybe Ardian, you can tell a little bit about that. But the Crypto Climate Accord was started a bit more than a year ago. We haven't heard much lately, unfortunately, but we do know a lot of work is going on there, right? So Rocky Mountain Institute is one of the co-founders there as well.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure of this, but I think Crypto Climate Accord moved to the crypto. What was it? The World Economic Forum alliance they made about crypto.
Yeah, they started CISA or CISO, I think it was it's an abbreviation, and the World Economic Forum started some kind of crypto climate initiative as well, and of course they are linked here to each other. But I'm not sure. There's no formal announcement of
Yeah,
what's being done. But the green proof solution, which is the core of the Crypto Climate Accord, in my opinion, that is actually being developed for green Bitcoin. Especially, like we even heard about that in the last session with Jesse and Daniel, right? I mean,
yeah,
they were
he
talking
mentioned
about live solutions there.
Yeah, he mentioned it, and he did a tweet when they launched the green proofs for Energy Web, the official launch. He mentioned carbon emissions. He mentioned sustainable aviations. He mentioned green the crypto and many more there, green hydrogen and all.
Yeah, cool. That is really cool. You have that tweet. You sent that to me, right? That is this one actually. I prepared it beforehand.
Yeah, here he mentioned everything: sustainable aviation fuel, renewable EV charging, 24/7 master renewables. We have this with Shell, I think. Yeah, we have this 24/7 master renewable with Shell, not yet with Rocky Mountain Institute.
Also,
That's,
Elia.
yeah,
Yes.
Elia is also diverging
yeah,
this.
yeah, Elia too. We have sustainable Bitcoin mining. This one I was mentioning just now. Carbon, green hydrogen, green steel you mentioned before on the COMET project.
Yeah. Part of COMET, yes.
Certified methane. Yeah, and renewable heat. Next, what is this?
I saw Anna Trebovic tweet
Yeah.
about that, or post about that on LinkedIn as well. Renewable heat or heat systems, and reusing that heat is something that Grid Singularity is working on, heat pumps, etc., with digital twins and simulation tools. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a thread a while ago about renewable heat, thermo heat. I think it was. I can find it and share it. But this next part, this one caught me just now. Here, where it says and renewable heat next.
Yeah. We didn't hear an announcement officially of that yet, and it's 9 months ago. So I guess this is something that they're also working on actively now.
Yeah, I think so. Here, I will find the Grid Singularity one while you explain it.
All right, thanks. I'm not gonna go into full explanation of the renewable heat aspect because we figure out that we would like to keep the sessions a little bit shorter, also to keep them interesting for people and for their time. So maybe Neo, you can tell a little bit about sustainable aviation fuel and the Saba initiative because I'll show it here on the screen. Ardian summarized it nicely as well in his tweet of the 23rd. Maybe you can tell a little bit about that because that is also a known solution by Rocky Mountain Institute, of course.
Yeah, of course. I will share my screen first, so we can take a look at my favorite page on the RMI.org. So we have rmi.org/Saba, Sustainable Aviation Buyers Alliance. As you guys already explained some details about the sustainable aviation fuel, green proofs, and the Saba, I want to briefly talk about that. Why these companies? So let me show that companies first. Bank of America, Boeing, Deloitte, Meta, JP Morgan, McKinsey, Microsoft, Netflix, and Salesforce.
Salesforce is also a member of the Crypto Climate Accord, and I saw that with. I think this is with other big names as well. It could be that they're involved because of that.
Do we know anything about them in detail, by the way?
We don't have any connections yet, but yeah, they are on the Crypto Climate Accord, as Gator mentioned.
Yeah,
Actually,
they've got an NFT platform that is environmentally friendly. They are building on that, and also interesting. China Vese, the lead of the Crypto Climate Accord at Energy Web, she moved to Salesforce, so she's now working for Salesforce
okay,
in sustainable
Oh,
crypto side or
interesting.
sustainable NFT platform. So she moved from the Crypto Climate Accord to that. That's what
yeah.
we know.
So
Uh,
sustainability comes from the energy web, I believe.
Mhm.
even JP Morgan, we had a connection of JP Morgan buying renewable energy from one of our partners using, I think it was using the 24/7 renewable energy from Energy Web. I have
Yeah.
the tweet, I can find it. I will share it also in the chat.
There's another link to JP Morgan, by the way. JP Morgan has bought Volkswagen Financial Services in part, and they wanted to integrate certain digital solutions there. So JP Morgan is a majority shareholder of Volkswagen Financial Services by now. Volkswagen Financial Services has been a long-time partner of Share and Charge, which is part of Energy Web Foundation now, and which is the green charging solutions, etc., and also led to the Volkswagen partnership. So that's also a very interesting connection. JP Morgan is definitely involved via Volkswagen Financial Services.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
is.
know
It
that.
is.
Yeah, here I
So,
just.
guys,
I'm sorry. Yeah, just
yeah,
let me finish it. Sorry. The one I was talking about, J.P. Morgan is buying green energy from Clear Trace IO.
Uh-huh.
Is US based. I just shared the tweet. So yeah.
Nice.
okay, thanks.
Cool.
So, guys, actually, with this Saba and the South Pole's direct initiative, it's actually the first time we are seeing these companies that outside the energy or IoT sector will use the energy web solutions directly, right?
Mhm.
It used to be Shell or Vodafone or any other energy company, but now we are seeing Bank of America, Netflix, Microsoft, McKinsey, and others.
Yeah,
So,
these are huge names, traditional names.
yeah, big names. Agree with you. So why do they need to sustainable aviation fuel? It's actually about the ECG requirements, and these big companies have to disclose their carbon emissions and reduce it.
Mhm.
EPA, United States Environmental Protection Agency, reports that commercial airplanes and large business jets contribute 10% of United States transportation emissions. So it's big number and account for 3% of the nation's total greenhouse gas production. So these are the big numbers. They need to lower that carbon emission on the aviation sector. So these companies I mentioned before are going to take their flights if the aviation fuel comes from the renewables.
Mhm.
Regular jet fuel is a high density kerosene based fuel. This has been developed to offer the high power needed for aircraft engines. It's very detailed info. As
Mhm.
it is fossil fuel based, though it has high carbon emission. Sustainable aviation fuels are an alternative. They are based on renewable hydrocarbon sources that are not fossil fuel based. These include sources such as used cooking oil, municipal waste, and forestry biomass. Currently, fats, oils, and greases are a leading source on the sustainable aviation fuel. Actually, Nestle, you know that, I believe you
Mhm.
know that, Gator,
Yeah.
has a contract with McDonald's to use cooking oil from its Dutch restaurants. So this is how sustainable aviation fuel is creating.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That is really new information. Thanks for adding.
Yeah,
Eat more
interesting,
burgers
right?
then.
Yeah, eat more and support sustainability. With EnergyWeb's green proofs, these sustainable aviation fuels can be tracked and matched with the flights. So when Netflix or JP Morgan need to take a flight for their operations, they will going to choose the flights that using sustainable aviation fuel. EnergyWeb Green Proofs is making the process secure, decentralized, and provable, and also prevents the double counting. And guys, that's what I call an utility for the token actually.
Yes,
It's
man.
great stuff. So
Definitely.
that's it actually. And okay, just that is. I will give you a spoiler about my next topic.
Yeah,
But
just
okay,
can I add one thing in
Uh,
between?
yeah.
One thing that I found, and that was, I believe,
Clean skies.
November. Yeah, November. That I found out that the Clean Skies for Tomorrow initiative, which is also in collaboration with Rocky Mountain Institute and PwC Netherlands, um, they have a sustainable aviation fuel certificate framework, right? And that framework that I wrote about, I showed and I proved that they are linked to Saba and to sustainable aviation fuel there. Because the framework was created in collaboration with Rocky Mountain Institute, and now the not the framework but the actual implementation is being started based on that framework. And BlackRock, PwC, Visa, Airbus, KLM, Rolls-Royce, Kuehne+Nagel, Honeywell, BP, and 60 other multinationals, they will purchase SAFC certificates, Sustainable Aviation Fuel certificates, via that Clean Skies for Tomorrow initiative, which is linked to Saba and SAF, and which was actually co-founded by Rocky Mountain Institute. So we know that BlackRock is actually going to purchase sustainable aviation fuel via the Energy Web solution. If that is not big, I don't know what is. But in my opinion, that was crazy. That's something I wanted to add. It's completely missed by most people, I believe.
Yeah, that one was really big.
Sorry, Neo, continue.
Yeah, okay, that's it actually. That's what I'm gonna mention about the Saba, and I can talk later. I can talk later on different topics.
Okay. Sorry, I just took your topic
If
from
you
you
wanna
now, didn't
continue on Saba, you can do it actually.
I? No, no.
I just gave the basics and what
Yeah.
it is for, and that's it.
No, thanks. Thanks. I
It's
think I
actually
took part of your
bigger
topic.
than that. It's actually bigger than that, but we actually hit the 25 minutes already,
Mhm.
so I just cut it out.
Yeah. Let's keep it at this part then. Um, so that is, like, to summarize, that is factual. So we know Horizon Zero and Comet, which is meant for the raw resources, for the example for the steel industry, and that is all greenhouse gas emission accounting. We know Saba, a sustainable aviation fuel, for a fact. We know that the green proof solution and the tracking of renewable usage for blockchain solutions or crypto projects, but also for traditional sectors, was also co-founded by Rocky Mountain Institute. Um, and we have some speculative things as well, which we will briefly address, I believe, because the most interesting part, in my opinion, is the part where we go into the other side of things and discuss the token flows and the sales that we saw of a large number of tokens in the latest weeks and months, and actually been continuing for a while. Um, so
We actually have Jeroen with us. If he wants to contribute, he can join.
He's here. I thought he would not be able to attend. I got some information from him, but if he wants to speak about it himself instead of me saying it for him, then he's welcome to join and speak. Um, let me know in the chat, Johan, if you want to.
He's writing right now.
Okay.
I can talk.
Okay. Then I will just read out what Jeroen said and shared with me regarding these token sales later. So the speculative side of things, we have three things there, right? Ardian, you created a really nice thread about it. I think it was one of the more successful threads that you wrote. Definitely more successful than the best threads that I wrote, I believe, in terms of how many times it was being shared and looked at. So that was a big thread that you wrote about China and the links with John Kreitz, the new CEO of Rocky Mountain Institute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mind blowing one.
Yeah, That was really good.
Yeah,
Think-
that one Neo mentioned. No, actually, Rocky Mountain Institute is connected to White House, as you mentioned, Gator. But
Mhm.
another thing, Amory Lovins, the guy in the picture that no one guessed or no one knew of, he wrote a book about United States on 2011. He wrote a book, Reinventing Fire, and it was a book or a roadmap that showed how USA can transit to green energy and still grow economically. And after that book, the Chinese government approached Rocky Mountain Institute and Amory Lovins and wanted to partner with him to do the same thing for China, and they did. On 2016, they post the book,
Mhm.
and one of the main characters on the book, one of the main team leaders, was John Christ. He's now the CEO of Rocky Mountain Institute, and
Also,
he's one
also
of the
new
core.
new member.
Yeah, no, it's not new. It's not new on Energy Web.
Oh,
He
okay.
was yeah, he's one of the core founders of Energy Web.
He
And
became a chair, I believe. Am I wrong? Now he's the chair of the foundation council.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think yeah, I think he moved from to vice president or president. I forgot for
Okay.
Energy Web.
yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah, you can find a lot of things of him talking about blockchain and him going on podcasts and interviews and events and talking about Energy Web. He said Energy Web. No, blockchain is a critic technology of making the Internet of Energy. And then the president of China, the Xi Jinping, he talked in front of the United Nations about needing a big energy internet for the whole world. And then they started working with the Rocky Mountain Institute and a lot of things. Even according to this book, they made the 13 5-year plan with China,
That's
where yeah,
crazy.
50 cities of China, a lot of low carbon communities were built and tested, and even they shared they share how is it called, blueprints. Yeah, they share blueprints about blockchain on the energy sector.
That is really, yeah. I've seen this thread. It blew my mind. I have to say, there's a lot of different connections here, and it takes some time to let this fall into place in your head, so to say. Um, but this is a really cool speculative thing that shows what direction Energy Web may be taken by Rocky Mountain Institute.
Yeah, back on, I think I forgot to mention this. I think when the Amory Lovins guy, when he published the book Reinventing Fire for USA, the president of USA, I think it was Bill Clinton or George Bush, even applauded it and gave a big shout out to that book. So yeah, it's connected to White House big time.
Yeah, it's incredible partnership. Um, I believe that this is something that we that you found out about, and in the same side of things, so in the speculative side of things, I mean, I found out about Google Nest or Google and Energy Web and virtual power plants. So we know that virtual power plants are a big topic within Energy Web as well, secured by digital identifiers or decentralized identifiers, and connecting to the grid the different decentralized energy assets, which can then be combined into virtual power plants for certain regions. We mentioned it briefly, the DID section and virtual power plant. For example, with the nested DIDs that Kuba explained in the previous session in the second part of episode number 2 last week. But we have the idea that Google Nest integration is happening here because it was already rumored by Chico Crypto in the past, like last year. And not only that, I mean, it was also something that we found out that is going on in Australia, for example, virtual power plants. And now Rocky Mountain Institute started a VP3 program together with big corporates such as Google, as I mentioned, but also Ford is a part of that. Connect, SunPower, Sunrun, and some other big companies.
General Motors.
General Motors, yes, that's huge, of course. And these organizations, they're working on the virtual power plant solution. And we know that this is being presented or being done in Australia, and that is the first solution of its kind being provided by Energy Web. So, we saw it in the past with Saba and the Sustainable Aviation Fuel project. We saw it with the greenhouse gas emissions accounting in Horizon Zero. But at some point, Rocky Mountain Institute comes out and says, we work with Energy Web Foundation on this. Saba was not mentioned with Energy Web in the beginning either. COMET and Climate Trace not either. But now they started this idea, and we saw the successful AMO virtual power plant cooperation in Australia. So I believe it will take a few months possibly. But the cool thing here is that also California ISO,
Gator,
Tesla.
can I interrupt you just briefly? Ed Hesse mentioned that the California parachain on his talk. You remember, right? It's actually, I believe it's connected with this VP3 initiative.
That is really cool.
Because we don't have enough utility to build a parachain on the Energy Web X. Actually, Energy Web it's just Flex Alert, as you know, and you don't need a parachain for the Flex Alert. But this virtual power plants on California actually could need the parachain as its own, I believe.
I think so too, and also for the digital decentralized identifiers, or at least the DID management, right? So you have the switchboard tool for that as well.
There is more. You mentioned Gator Tesla connected to Energy Web, but there is more on the California Tesla and the VPP virtual power plants. It was what was the name of the? You remember Community IO? What was electric Community IO? I think it was.
Yeah, Community Electricity. I think.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. They are also building virtual power plants on top of Energy Web. I don't know if they are on the Volta testnet or they are on the mainnet. But yeah, they actually also have Google and Tesla connecting us to them.
Yeah, indeed. So this is also there's a whole network to unravel here if you dive into this. But this is one of the speculative plays. That's what I wanted to mention here mainly. That this is, we know that there's connections. We know that Rocky Mountain Institute has a way of presenting things. They present things, and at some point they say, okay, we work with Energy Web on that. They did it with these solutions, like I mentioned, Horizon Zero, COMET, Saba, Sustainable Aviation Fuel, etc. Yeah, Crypto Climate Accord. So I expect it with VP3 too at some point, the integration. And I think now the last one that is a bit speculative that we wanted to talk about, or maybe there's another one that NEO has, but the other speculative thing is the Emissions First partnership, which you know a little bit more about, right, Ardian?
Yeah. Can you find the tweet from Daniel?
I'll check it out.
I think it was like a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah, here.
Yes.
He mentioned this. Proud to see a collaboration with Rocky Mountain Institute listed as key resource for Emissions First initiative. And he's excited this approach to be part of the forthcoming green proofs for Bitcoin mining. But when you click on it, on this page he shared, there are a lot of things, even some big news that I didn't see before. For example, the Saba, Reba that renamed their name to Saba, and it was Saba's. What was the Saba name? Long. Do you know?
Clean Energy Buyers Alliance.
Alliance, yes. They were working with something I believe is going to tie us to Saba again. They are our advisors. This is not speculative. They were our advisors from 2017, I believe. But yeah, we can't find them on our website anymore. But yeah, them and the IREC, I think, were our main advisors on last website. They have something called Next Gen. It is like something about GHG proving carbon emissions and renewable energy. But also, then there is Meta, the Facebook company. They are building energy storage. Can you search them?
What is the name?
Yeah, Meta. Energy storage with General Motors.
You're the first guy searching this, Gator.
No, I did search the Meta joins group. I think it was this one.
Second one. I'll live with that. Okay, cool. Meta joins group measuring benefits of long-term energy storage. Facebook owner wants to know how big batteries can cut emissions. That sounds interesting.
You can find a lot of big. Yeah, this one. They were using the Vera, this Vera, this company, but turns out they were scamming the big companies. We can talk about that on a future, but yeah, they were scamming the Netflix, Facebook, and all of this.
That's why you need a blockchain, right? That's why you need a
Yeah,
blockchain.
yeah.
Exactly. That's also why I see so many different initiatives in the refi space, the regenerative finance space develop now, right? So they want to improve the quality because you can't get away with 70% to 90 something percent of useless carbon credits because that's what the research came down to. It's a large percentage, to be honest. And even if it is just 60%, which was the counter argument, that means that more than half of these is useless. So I mean, it's insane how bad the quality was of that, then apparently.
Yeah, I think this is why Energy Web is moving the green proofs to their own nodes and validating it on a proof of stake.
I think this is very interesting that what you just showed because I just highlighted this sentence here. The idea is to measure the tons of greenhouse gas emissions displaced through the charging and discharging of energy storage facilities on the grid at a specific location and point in time and compare that with other projects. This is about what Meta wants to do. And I see, the specific location and point in time, the 24/7 accounting systems being developed, for example, by FlexiDAO on Energy Web Chain and within energy tech, measuring greenhouse gas emissions through charging and discharging. This sounds exactly like something Energy Web might do.
And this is on the move of virtual power plants and the John Christ, the Rocky Mountain Institute guy. He mentioned in one of his events on 2015, I believe. He mentioned that in the future, these big companies like Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, even they will call upon people to create large virtual power plants through their applications.
Yeah, that I believe this is all going to be connected quite soon. I mean, these organizations are large, right? So you can't expect, they work with lots of different partners. Saying they work with just Energy Web would be a dumb thing to say, in my opinion. But they are connected at several points. So we saw it with the virtual power plant initiative. We saw Meta there. We see Meta at the Emissions First partnership. We see greenhouse gas emissions accounting, and that Meta wants to join a group measuring the benefits of energy storage here in this consortium that you just pointed out. So there's different touch points here already, and this is no longer a coincidence. Salesforce, part of the Crypto Climate Accord, actually, like China Vesa working for Salesforce in that field now. Salesforce being part of Emissions First partnership. Amazon popping up here again. General Motors popping up.
Yeah, Salesforce even part of the Sustainable Aviations Bio Alliance.
Exactly. Yeah. And Heineken is also mentioned earlier. I mean, Heineken is working with South Pole Global, or at least purchasing decentralized renewable energy certificates via South Pole Global's DREC initiative, which is built on top of Energy Web Chain. And they're part of this Emissions First partnership as well. So there's more than one connection to most of these companies now, and that is something that makes me very bullish personally because it shows the different connections. I think so far, for keeping it short on our end, to be honest, we're already at 42 minutes. Is there anything else you or Neo wanted to add to the speculative piece at the Rocky Mountains? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, not on that. I just want to show a page from the RMI's official reports,
Yeah.
annual report of donors.
Do you have your donor card ready?
No, I don't. They definitely have to send one of them to me. So we have donor list, and Ardian is one of the best donors for the RMI.
Yeah, I'm a pro donor.
He's promoting the Energy Web token. He's buying the Energy Web token. So yeah, it makes you the best donor. So we also have heroes actually who they donated $1 million and above. So I don't know. Can you see, guys? Let me zoom it. We have Bezos Earth Fund, Bloomberg, and Global Energy Alliance, Google.org, and Welsh Fargo. And then we have Game Changers who donated 50,000 to $1 million, $1 million.
Yeah, that one, Energy Foundation China. They work at the
you talk
Rocky
about
Mountain Institute on China. Yeah, this one is.
Yeah, FedEx, Energy Foundation China, General Motors, Good Energies Foundation, and I think
Microsoft.
they also Good Energies Foundations is also leveraging the Energy Web Zero, if I remember correctly. Then we have Rockefeller Brothers Fund, the Rockefeller Fund. Yes, so we know that Rockefellers at least donated $1 million to RMI in 2022.
Yeah,
right?
I found one of 5 million.
Yeah, you did. So we have Rockefellers, BlackRock, Google, General Motors, FedEx, and more. They all donated lots of money to RMI. We also donated lots of money to RMI with holding the Energy Web token. So it's actually huge, right?
Yeah.
It's actually makes the Energy Web untouchable in the USA, I believe. You can touch the Energy Web. In my opinion, this is too big. RMI is building multiple solutions. They are creating initiatives to create business value for this sustainability sector. So, and most of the solutions, or at least several of them, are utilizing the Energy Web tech stack. So these donations also help the Energy Web to accomplish their mission.
Yeah, just look at that. Alaska Airlines, United
by the way,
Airlines.
I found another Rockefeller.
Okay, 3.
there's too many Rockefellers. So we have Jesse Morris also, who donated a lot.
I don't know if that's our Jesse Morris.
We probably just touched the Rocky Mountains here. I mean,
look there, Royal Bank of Canada, Ripple, even the ZRP, Amazon again, Bank of America again, the Citibank again. Yeah, big names. European Climate Foundation.
This is a huge list. I just wanted to show.
Bill and Melinda is there too.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's it from me.
That's awesome. Yeah. So everybody, please donate by purchasing Energy Web tokens. No, I think this is the point where we get to the last part of our talk, because so far we've been very positive about everything that they've been doing, and I am very positive about everything that they've been doing. But we know that from the community side, there's been some discussions about token sales taking place, and I actually got some information from Yun regarding those sales, and I will share my screen. I see you just stopped sharing yours, Neo. So what we found out is, or what Yun actually found out, he made the comparison of the two founding wallets. I I showed the screenshots here, and we have an affiliate of 2.4 million Energy Web tokens here, wallet address, and there's different token sales and different token times. You see the amounts of Energy Web tokens being sold on this screenshot and on the other one, and they're mostly between 25,000 and 30,000 or 29,000 actually Energy Web tokens. If you look at the times of these screenshots, you see that they align quite accurately with each other. So it means
Gator,
that these.
can I say something?
Yes, of
I
course.
believe this founder wallet or RMI is creating selling pressure, but it has to be done, right? We need the liquidity, so individuals or different wallets needs to hold EWT, and I hope they sell more in a short time zone. And
Yeah, Neo, how
Yeah.
sure are you they are a Rocky Mountain Institute?
I'm not a founder.
Just wait and listen what Gator and
Yeah,
Joran.
I know the info. We talked with Jeroen, and yes, maybe it's not RMI. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
It's
So
their
what
it's
we
their wallet, but we don't know the purpose.
exactly, yeah, we do well. We're not even sure on that aspect. There's even doubts on that. So I will explain a little bit about it. Because what Jeroen told me is that we know that Rocky Mountain Institute received a consultancy fee, and we know which wallets that was on. So these wallets, okay, we do know that. That brings us to 2.4 million Energy Web tokens that were moved to exchanges through those wallets. That's what we also know.
I think
Financial
I
reports.
actually found that wallet. I found that wallet, I believe.
You were the one finding it.
That's
Yes.
I don't know I did share or not. It's 1.7 million Energy Web tokens
Yeah,
3 or 4 years ago.
yeah, that's a big wallet. um, so we know that the financial reports, including the text there from Rocky Mountain Institute, that shows that they earned about 15 million US dollars from it at an average price of 6.25 US dollars per Energy Web token. And that is logical and explainable. I mean, we all know that they need funding as well. And as long as they promote us in the way that they do with all these different use cases, I'm fine with that. I mean, personally, my personal opinion is that it is needed. And the sooner these tokens are distributed and are out in the open market for people to buy up, the sooner we have a healthy token distribution. But that leads us to the fact that we are not sure if this is the Rocky Mountain Institute wallet, or not that all wallets are Rocky Mountain Institute. Let me place it like that, because we have recent dumps of founder 2 and an affiliate. That's the screenshots that I showed earlier, and it can be stated with high certainty that these two belong together because of the times at which these amount of tokens and the amount of tokens in itself are being sold or being moved to exchanges, because we don't even know for sure that these tokens are being sold on exchanges. It's very likely, and we've seen at some points that the trading volume on these exchanges that it was moved to, more or less aligns with the tokens moved to that exchange at certain smaller time frames. But it's not sure that all these tokens are sold or that what they are being used for. And what Jeroen also found is that the recent dumps of this founder 2 wallet and an affiliate, it can be stated with high certainty that these belong together, but it is not certain that this is Rocky Mountain Institute, because these wallets do not cross the well-known Rocky Mountain Institute wallets at all. So we see no interaction between those two wallets dumping these amounts of tokens, the 28K tokens that were being discussed in the Telegram group. We see no link between those wallets and the known Rocky Mountain Institute wallets. So that can be clearly seen by tracing back from these wallets. And I can share the links to that. So let me just briefly copy that to the chat here, and then I will explain it a little bit further. So we have these, let me send it here. This is information I got from Jeroen via ewchain.io. So if you want to check it out yourself and see what wallets were identified or were identified with a certain chance that they are from a certain party, then take a look at that website. He does great work in that field in tracking. Together with Neo, we also found a lot of information. So we know for sure that two wallets directing to Kraken and Qcoin are Rocky Mountain Institute deposit wallets. And we know that founder 2 and affiliate deposit wallets that have been dumping these tokens, the 28K tokens on average. We found these as well. And these two wallet addresses don't interact at all with the Rocky Mountain Institute addresses that we know. So what Jeroen also said in the chat, it's identified by the exact amount transferred and confirmed in the financial report. So that's why we know that these token sales took place and what amount they took place for, so what the average sale price was. And that's how we found out about those wallets. But again, we're not sure. We can't say with certainty that these two wallets that have been dumping Energy Web tokens lately are in fact Rocky Mountain Institute wallets. We only know that they're a founding wallet because they contain such a high amount of Energy Web tokens. So a founder or an affiliate has been dumping these tokens or has at least been moving these tokens to an exchange. So we can't even say for sure that they've been sold in the amounts that have been moved to exchanges, because at that moment you lose track of it.
By the way, they are not dumping like a huge amount of Energy Web tokens. It's about, I don't know, 28, 29,000 tokens we are talking about in a day or in a week.
Yeah,
it is sustainable.
It's actually about our liquidity problem, right? This sellings are how can I say? These sellings are not very high, but we need more exchange, we need more liquidity, and eventually we will go there, no doubt.
You know, just today, I saw some community members talking how we need liquidity on our newest exchange, the BitREX. So yeah, they were praying someone sell there.
Is someone right? 28K is quite big for the low volume. Actually, 28K makes what, I don't know, $70,000 or $80,000, right? Yeah, it's not a big money. Actually.
But he's right. With the liquidity we have right now, it's
but
not.
If you want liquidity, they need to distribute these tokens, right? So in the future, people can trade this in a more healthy situation. So more exchange and the solutions will help it, I believe. Especially also the new staking pools will help too. And we will get there.
I think so too. It's a long run here that you have to keep in mind. And I mean, if we actually have only one of the solutions that Rocky Mountain Institute is working on that is getting worldwide adoption, and these all have the potential to get that, right? The virtual power plant solution, the sustainable aviation fuel solution, the speculative thing with Google Nest, the greenhouse gas emissions accounting via Horizon Zero and COMET for the steel industry and other sectors. All of these have the potential to be disruptive and to be world leading, so to say, as a use case, and Energy Web is right in front of that transition to these technologies being implemented. So, we only need one thing in that regard, in my opinion, to completely obliterate any impact from these token sales presently. So that is my personal opinion and conclusion on this. It's that it doesn't really matter much. I mean, in the short term, even if it is a Rocky Mountain Institute selling, it wouldn't matter much, and eventually the sales need to take place anyway, so better get it over with now than later, in my opinion.
I agree with you. So we hit the 1 hour already, guys. Again, we talked a lot.
we were planning to make it again short, 30 minutes, but once again it's an hour.
Yeah, I think we can keep it at this as well. Or maybe you can give your conclusion on it as well. I mean, I think you agree with me here, but if you don't, then, or if you have other additions, please share them, and then we can close this at least within the hour.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree too. But I would just ask the community about all these projects. Is Rocky Mountain Institute a blessing or a curse? With this,
I think neither. By the way, neither curse or blessing.
Bro, that's not an option, bro.
It's just there.
There's always an option, bro.
My last as an end, I will say just eat more burgers and donate more to Rocky Mountain Institute.
But you need to eat at Netherlands.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Otherwise, you're not gonna helping the sustainable aviation field.
Exactly. Get your donator cards ready, donate, and get Rocky Mountain Institute and Energy Web through the winter.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think this is it.
I think so too. Thank you guys for attending. I hope you enjoyed it. And guys, thank you very much for your participation again in this session. I think we went really well with it. And I'm looking forward to next week. Have a great evening all, or a great day.
See you, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.